Well, hello and welcome to a very special edition of Rails Run, where we preview the race that stops a nation, the $6.2 million Melbourne Cup. And joining us to take a look at the big race is Sportsbet's Christian Jansen and the Age's chief racing rider Patrick Bartley. Gentlemen, it's like Christmas for adults on Tuesday.
It's the best, isn't it, guys?
It's the best. It's arrived. And what a year. We've got horses coming from everywhere, and not only horses, but quality horses that you were astounded 20 years ago that we'd ever get to our shores.
It's a great field. It's tough to find a winner, but we will.
I think, as John O'Shea said about his horse Hartnell, I'd be proud of him to run in the first 10. That is the depth of this cup.
Yeah.
Betting's all important. Christian's got the lowdown on the markets with Sportsbet.
Yeah, well, Fame Game, Adam, is obviously the favourite. It's drifting, though. I reckon closer to post time is probably the best time to back the Japanese runner. You get $4 at the moment, but since the barrier draw, there's been actually more money on Trip to Paris. We've got that in at $8.50 now. Preferment, rock solid at $10. Criterion at $13. A bit of money for Max Dynamite. We know it's got impressive form compared to Trip to Paris over 3,200. It's 14, along with the Geelong Cup winner, Al Moonkith.
Take us through some of the big bets so far.
Well, the biggest bet so far is $22,500 each way on our Ivanhoe, if you don't mind. Someone's a Lee Friedman fan there. They got that at $21, which is the current price. Fame Game, $15,000 on the nose and $12,000 on Hartnell as well. But I reckon there'll be bigger bets as we get closer to post time.
Before we get into our preview, just quickly tell us what's happening with Sportsbet on Tuesday.
We've got our cash back special again for Melbourne Cup. If you finish second or third for your first fixed odds bet, we'll give you cash back up to $50. So have a crack at that. Best of luck, but of course, gamble responsibly.
Let's get into our preview. We're going to start with the two Japanese runners, including favourite Fame Game, who I must admit is probably a little bit under the odds at the moment after that slashing run in the Caulfield Cup. Pat, he's come up pretty short in the markets, and I reckon he's probably getting a better price closer to jump time, like Christian mentioned.
Hovering around 370s, very short Melbourne Cup, 24 runners. There's traffic, there's bad luck, there's whatever. The talk in Tokyo is that he might not be at home on a wettish track, and their wets are very much different than ours. Super under the Caulfield Cup. Fence falls down, he wins by 5. He got no penalty. But as I say, and I think we're all agreeing, he's entitled to be favourite, but not skinny favourite.
I guess the question is, which of the two Japanese horses are better suited to Flemington and the 3,200 out of Hocko Brave and Fame Game compared to the Caulfield Cup?
They say he is a complete classic 3,200 metre horse, Fame Game. Hocko Brave had no luck at Caulfield, so if you are backing the two Japanese, you'd have to include the other bloke.
What do you make of Tommy Berry's comments on Sunday where he said he would have liked to have had Fame Game have a tougher run? He reckons he's had too easy time at the back of the field there and sprinted home. He would have liked his horse, Trip to Paris, had a good blow. What do you make of his comments?
My information is that both Japanese horses came to Australia very, very fit, under the idea of Caulfield Cup, just top him off. They get the horses very fit. They have a strong fitness regime in Japan. He would have come ready, lose a bit of weight in the flight, soft time before Caulfield. Softish run in Caulfield, but they're too good a preparers, their horses. That I couldn't see that be a consideration.
Have you seen how many laps they walk at Werribee?
Yes, I know. But, we're different here. So you're a Sydney boy, half mile and 47 man. I don't think like that. They're bigger picture people.
Let's move on to the Europeans. I think most of the interest this year is going to centre around Ed Dunlop. He's bringing out Red Cadeau for a record 5th appearance in the Cup. Trip to Paris was remarkable in the Caulfield Cup, second, when probably a lot of people didn't factor him into the equations. Can Ed go one better, Pat?
Isn't he a wonderful ambassador, Ed Dunlop, for Australian racing? He stops people on the street to tell them how good our Melbourne Cup is. There's no other race in the world, as he said, that people are so involved in. I'd love to see a fairy tale Red Cadeau, but I know he doesn't know he's rising 11, but it's getting there, isn't it? Trip to Paris. Wow, what a run at Caulfield. You couldn't knock that. I mean, these are the sort of factors of form that you've got to try and weigh up in this Melbourne Cup, and
I reckon Trip to Paris will firm even more from that 850. I reckon that you'll take that if you want to back Trip to Paris. It'll be shorter than that. The gap is lessening. There's so many variables of Red Cadeau, but if you want to back it to come second for the 4th time, we'll give you $21. Just a bit of a novelty bet there because it can run second.
Just want to quickly touch on Lloyd Williams' runners he's brought into that Aidan O'Brien trains, Bondi Beach and Kingfisher. Now, Lloyd's gunning for a 5th Melbourne Cup win. He's not mucking around. When Lloyd buys into a horse, there must be serious horse flesh for him to bring him out there for the Melbourne Cup.
No, and of course we forget United States, who's done a little wrong. The two horses, Kingfisher and the other bloke, Bondi Beach, 6 runs. As Lloyd said yesterday, he won't lack ability, what he might lack is experience. He's a serious horse. Has seriously depth of form. How the heck a European via Ireland has got called Bondi Beach? I don't know.
Well, there's a Kiwi horse called Mongolian Khan.
Well,
Go figure.
Yeah. Things have changed. But I think of Lloyd's, don't underestimate them. And I think what he was hinting at is that these three will be back next year, and Rella, who he lost from the race, and other Europeans. He's serious about this race. He knows it backwards.
And I think if we're talking internationals, don't leave out Max Dynamite. Beat Trip to Paris by 6.5 lengths over 2 miles, and I've seen the replay of that. It was pretty impressive.
I think this is the point everyone made after the Caulfield Cup where we talked about Fame Game, Trip to Paris. Someone said there's another 10 out there just arriving. Yeah. So it makes it's such a tremendously difficult race to put your finger on because of the differing form lines. It's okay for outfits like you that just scoop the pool every time, but for the battlers like Adam and I, we've got to try and get something.
Well, we'll be up for plenty if Fame Game or Trip to Paris win, just quietly.
Let's quickly touch on the locals.
My heart goes out to you.
Chris Waller, Cox Plate winning trainer. He's finally got the monkey off his back in one of the big four. He's got 3 runners. He's got Preferment, Who Shot the Barman, who was 3rd in this race last year, and Grand Marshal, Jimmy Cassidy's last ride in the Melbourne Cup. Can we see Chris Waller winning the Melbourne Cup, Pat?
I can't. I'm not a Preferment man. Isn't that a wonderful, if Jimmy Cassidy could be right there at the end? What did he start his mark on in Kiwi way back in those times when it came from last in a barnstorming run? Again, another wonderful angle to the Melbourne Cup. I don't know. Adam, you've got to draw the line somewhere because as we go on, we're going to have a box trifecta that cost $4.8 million. So I'd rather leave them.
Well, Preferment was pretty good in the Hill Stakes, Turnbull Stakes. Looked like it needed the 3,200 in the Cox Plate. I give it a massive chance.
Just want to quickly touch on David Hayes' runners. Criterion, absolutely super in the Cox Plate. Big question mark at 2 miles, obviously. And Al Moonquith, the Geelong Cup runner. Now, Hazy gets his horses right for the Melbourne Cup.
He does. Has Al Moonquith got the class?
I think he probably lacks a length or two, maybe. That's just my personal opinion.
He just looked a bit slow to me in the hustle and bustle of a Melbourne Cup. Criterion, well, what a fabulous horse. Question mark goes all day and night. Can he run the 32? Trust me, if he runs a 32, he's going to be mighty hard to knock off.
Yeah, he's classy, isn't he?
Well, the Cox Plate run just shows how well he's going. He lost his momentum. He couldn't have won the Cox Plate, but he may have finished right behind the winner.
All right, boys, time to put it out there. Tips. Patrick, give us your top 4.
I'm going left field, Bondi Beach. Don't know how they come up with a name, but I love it if it gets the money at the $25. I think Fame Game, Seeing's Believing, and Hocko Brave, I think, as a roughie. And 4th, I think we'll go Trip to Paris in what will be looked at as a classic Melbourne Cup in years to come.
So Pat's tipping Lloyd to win his 5th Melbourne Cup. Christian, give us your top 4.
Yeah, look, I know Pat won't agree with me. He's bagged Preferment, but I'm going with it. I think a Derby winner, Turnbull Hill Stakes. I reckon it can run the 2 miles. It just looks like it will. Fame Game, how can you possibly leave it out? I think you're taking unders if you didn't back it before the Caulfield Cup, but we'll throw it in for second. Al Moonquith, I thought it was a good Geelong Cup win. It was better than a good Geelong Cup win. It was an outstanding Geelong Cup win, but I know it beat Dandino, but I reckon it can aim up. And 4th, I'm going to put Max Dynamite because of that form around Trip to Paris. I'm leaving Trip out to Paris out, but I'm terrified of it, boys.
We mustn't forget, lads, the 3 o'clock is the Melbourne Cup. There's a whole heap of other races we can bet on Tuesday. Starting at 10:40, it's going to be a very, very, very long day at the track. Pat, where's your best bet for the day?
Well, fortunately, mine's in race 8 because after you do your money on my tips and you're washed up on Bondi Beach, get a very tall ship. That's it, race 8 tall ship. Race 8, number 11. It wins. And your firm have already been knocked over by because they've got obviously got a carbon to buy tips.
Look, it was $9. It was $9 tall ship, and the quality punters, the smart money's come for it into about $6. Maybe the tall ship sailed if you haven't backed it now. But if it wins, I tell you what, it doesn't matter what it pays. I've gone for race 4, Good Project. Chris Waller's got a high opinion of this horse, and might be a big day because I'm tipping Preferment. Must be a Chris Waller fan.
Well, gentlemen, thanks very much for coming in and previewing the big race, the race that stops the nation, the Melbourne Cup. Hope you enjoy your day off on Tuesday. Until then, happy punting.
Best of luck.
Good luck.